Hello, everyone. Hey, out there.
Hi.
Look, we are here today. I can't believe it. Episode 8 of our show. Let's chit
Yes.
chat about money. So, welcome, everybody. Look, we're excited
Yes.
today. Yes.
Woo.
So, today we have a special guest in the house. We're going to do something a little different. And so, yes, I'm actually going to let my sister friend over here tell us more about our special guest and what our topic is. But first of all, we have to do our first beginning chit chat. So,
Yes.
sis, how's it going?
It is going so awesome. Been busy
Oh,
this week with appointments, meeting people, um, talking to people about um, 401ks this week. So just been really busy and working out and spending time with family. So always keeping that balance. So
I
yeah, it's
know.
been an awesome week. What about you?
Girl, same working. Look, I'm telling you, people have been trying to meet with us left and right. Like I said, definitely the 401ks and IRAs, people are not happy about them being down and losing
Yeah.
money. I talked to a few people this week. They've already lost a third, and some people have lost half of their money already this
Mhm.
year. So,
Mhm.
look, I mean, it's been trying, but the good thing is they were smart enough to pull the plug and say, I need to do something different. Can you help me? So that's the first step. So, hey,
Yeah.
it works.
Well,
Yeah.
awesome. Well,
Yeah.
today we do have a special guest on today,
Oh,
and it's
yeah.
about we're gonna be talking about legal stuff. So
Ooh,
yeah, so that's gonna be quite interesting,
it
and
is.
I want to bring up a point to you about it before we bring our guest on, and we'll let him answer some of these, see if he can help us out with this. But
Okay.
in 2020, people in the United States spent more on legal fees. The average annual expenditure on legal fees per consumer unit stood at $155.87 US dollars that
Yeah.
year. This
Wow.
increased to additional $133 for this year for 2020. What's this 2022?
Yeah.
So that is high. So we're going to talk to our guest today and see how he can help us
Yeah.
offset some of these legal fees.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so
Hopefully we'll never need it, but just in
of
case we
course,
ever do, it's better to be
you
safe than
never know.
sorry.
Yeah,
Because
never
we
know.
do
So
everything by the book over here. So
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. What you say,
I said,
sis?
we do everything by the book over here.
Oh,
So
almost definitely. But
yeah,
that sometimes we run into unfortunate events, and then you always need, I mean, it could be something as minor as a speeding ticket or
yeah,
something like that. So
yeah,
you have to, sometimes you have to go to court. I don't know
yeah.
if you have to go to court for a speeding ticket, but I mean, I guess you could to fight it to
Sometimes
see.
they do try to make
Yeah,
you.
and
So
then you have
yeah,
to hire an attorney.
yeah. Well,
So
yeah. I mean, it sounds like we really need to speak with him.
yeah, let's bring him on. You
Okay.
ready?
Yeah,
Okay. So we're
yeah.
gonna bring on Mr. Mark Jones, and he's with Know Your Rights with Legal Shield, and he's gonna be spending the next 45 minutes with us. Let's welcome Mark Jones.
Yay. Welcome,
Thank
Mr.
you,
John.
thank you, ladies. Thank you.
How are you this evening?
Yes.
Hey, it's good spending some time with you all this evening, and just sharing some things about our company, Legal Shield and ID Shield, and answer any questions that you have. But you know, it's amazing that you're saying speeding tickets and things like that. No matter what we do, what we say, where we are, there's some type of law involved in it. No matter
True.
what it is, there is a law involved.
Mhm.
So, our company was founded 50 years ago uh, under the premise that, making equal justice for everyone the same, give people a level playing field. So that's what we do. And just it started off a little bit, tell you a little bit about me. I've had the services 22 years. When I received the services, I didn't really look at the business aspect of it, but I just took just mainly just had the services. I used the service one time because I had signed up, like you were saying. I signed up with with a natural gas provider for 2 years, 22 months into that agreement was perfect. They
Mhm.
delivered on time. I paid on time. One of the things happened was uh, the cost of natural gas was more expensive to them than what I was paying for their natural gas. So they just left the state. Now, when they left the state, another provider took over that account, but they was charging me 3 times the amount that I was paying. So I was able to pick up a phone and call my legal, my law firm and tell them what was going on. They wrote a letter, and what they did was save me $400.
Oh
And
wow.
I pretty much said, right now, there's more people like myself just living life, paying our bills, and wanting to have more, and then something like this happens. So that's why I got involved in for is providing the services for individuals, families, small businesses, and I specialize in going into companies and offering as an employee benefit.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
that's awesome. That's
Mm-hmm.
awesome. So I know you heard what I was speaking about your intro, how the legal fees have gone up since 2020, $133.
Right.
So how can you help, you know, ordinary people, low income, or just people who need legal fees? Because oftentimes, when people get in trouble, they don't have money to go hire a lawyer, retain an attorney. So how can you help people with this, where to make it economical, or so they can have an attorney to go to court, or like you said, just pick up a phone and call someone.
Right. Well, the average cost that you use was for the total number of people in the United States, but not everyone else people used attorneys. So that's why it was so low. But if you average that cost for the actual number of people that use the services, it'd have been a lot higher because most people don't have access to the
Right.
legal system, so they're not using legal services or an attorney. But what we do is we basically have a monthly subscription, and it's
Hmm.
month to month. So you don't enroll for a year, 3 years, or 5 years. It's month to month, and basically with that subscription, we provide our members unlimited advice and consultation on anything. They pick up the phone, they call the law firm, not an attorney, but a law firm, because there's so many areas that they may need assistance in. They get advice and consultation, and that's part of the subscription. We'll review contracts and documents before they sign them. You buying a house, just joining the gym, renting an apartment. Before you sign that document, submit it over to the law firm, let them review it, and tell you what's in it for you. Because we know those contracts aren't written for us; they're written for other people.
Right. Right.
Yeah, and say if you treated unfairly, overbill for a service, and that's how I felt when they wrote that letter for me. The attorneys write letters, make phone calls for you. There's no additional cost for them to do that for you. And one of the big things I push now is estate planning. With just having our services, we'll provide you with a will, a living will, a financial power of attorney, and a health uh, power of attorney. So think about anytime you go into have some medical services done into a hospital. One of the first questions they ask is, "Do you have a living will?" I always ask that question. The other question that they want to know is, "Do you have a financial power of attorney?" Because they want to know who's going to pay the bill.
Right.
And so we feel like those documents are important,
Hmm.
and I really emphasize those documents because my son, he came down with COVID last year, and we really didn't know if he was going to make it or not. So one of the first things that the nurse asked was, "Did he have a living
Yes.
will and a power
Hmm.
of attorney?" So when you think about it, he was 34 at the time. When you think about it, those documents are very important. So
Yes.
we feel like everyone should have those documents in place.
And you don't think at 34 you need a living will. I mean, you just don't think of it at that age because you're so young
That's
and
right.
vibrant, and 34, that's young. So
It's very
you
good.
don't think
Yeah,
about a living will at that age.
yeah. No one, because we all think we're gonna live forever, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So that's an important piece now that I share. where I sort of used to skim through it. And it's not just because of COVID. It could be a car accident. It could be anything. We
Exactly.
just feel like
Yeah.
we should get our affairs in order.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
It's very
Well, that's the
important.
same thing we talk about. Verneka and I on our shows. We talk about financial
Mhm.
planning and planning for the future, and not just having um, vehicles of, I guess we'll say vehicles to use to just for death, but you can use it while you live as well. So,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
we should really
Absolutely.
stress that to our community
Yeah.
and to let them know that that's how important that is. But do
Right.
you have anything for Mark?
Well, I mean, Mr. Mark here has some very valid points. Like you said, you and I talk all the time. And,
Yeah.
it made me think about too the importance of, living benefits, that
Yeah.
we do too. Something that's bound to happen in life. Life
Right.
just happens. And so, the real definition of insurance is making sure that everything is taken care of and that for us, that
Else.
someone else is on the hook for it.
That's
So,
right.
Right.
look, that is, it sounds like Legal Shield is a perfect way to plan. It's a perfect pair with what we do too. So,
It
Absolutely.
is. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. And
And
because
I'm a,
when y'all provide the life insurance,
Mhm.
most people are just this is how I feel. Well, most people that buys life insurance understands the benefit.
Mhm.
They do. People that
yeah.
don't buy don't understand the benefit.
Won't do.
Yeah.
So
You know,
when you
go
look
ahead.
at the wills, people
Mhm.
understand it's not for them. It's to keep their family intact.
Yeah. And I
Because
mean, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
go ahead.
Well, I would just to piggyback off of that. You're right. I part of what we talked about last week. We were finishing up our series of like love and relationships, and basically making sure that the family was taken care of, and that we could
Right.
meet in the middle. And one of the things that we talked about last week was about how much damage probate can do. Probate
Oh yeah.
losses, and, yeah, you can have a policy with us or an account with us that'll help avoid probate and lawsuits. But how awesome the even better way to do it is to have that and then seal it all with a will.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
Exactly.
it's perfect. I mean, you don't want people coming in and being able to claim
Yeah.
Absolutely.
what they think is
Yours.
rightfully theirs. It
Yeah.
may or may
Absolutely.
not be, but we just need to make sure that all the I's are dotted, all the T's are crossed,
And then checked.
and then check. There you go. So
Oh,
yeah.
so,
Mhm.
let me share just a couple of stories with Wills.
Yeah, please do.
One of them was that there was a young couple that married. Okay, they were
Mhm.
married at a young age. Well, they get wills. Okay, later on in life they divorce. Okay, young man marries again, marries another, uh, has another wife and moves on.
Mhm.
Never changes his will.
Mhm.
Mm.
He died.
Mm.
Do
Wow,
you
that's
think?
ugly.
Yeah, you said it right. You said it right. That's
My first thought was the ex-wife won. She won.
Yeah, she did. She
Yeah.
won.
she
Yeah,
was the
that's why I said
beneficiary.
it's ugly. That's horrible.
But that's the thing, even when I program, if there's changes, you get life insurance, you sell a house, you have a grandbaby or grandchild, you can update those wills on an
There you
annual
go.
basis.
Right. Yeah.
You can update your will on an annual basis. A lot of times, it's about 85% of people that don't
Mhm.
have a will.
Yeah.
95%, okay, of the 95% that have a will, they haven't been updated.
Mhm.
Mm.
They haven't been updated. Well, if
Yeah.
it's
So
not updated, go ahead.
so you're saying, just to reiterate what you're saying. So every time you have a life change, you need to update your will. Is what you're saying?
Well, I would say, within a time period, you should.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
See,
Yeah.
we do it on an annual basis. We don't do it every time there's a life
Yeah.
change, but we'll do it once a year.
Once a
And
year. Okay.
Okay.
there's no additional cost for that.
Yeah.
So if you think the other story I want to share with you, I was talking with an attorney, and he does estate planning. So he was telling me there was a couple that came to him, and he was going to do their wills for $500 a piece.
Ooh.
He found out they was church members, and so he gave them 20% discount, which means it was $400 a piece. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Not bad. I mean, it's a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he didn't do their wills.
He
So
didn't.
for $29.95, here's what we can supply: the will, living will, healthcare power of attorney, and financial power of attorney. And if you need a trust, the law firms will do that at a 25% discount.
Okay.
So that piece is huge, just the wills. So another part of our services that we do is now we provide this 24/7 emergency access. This is for emergencies. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Not if you want to get a divorce or you want to have your will done. This is for strictly emergency. So if
Okay.
you're being stopped, detained, questioned, arrested, children's services knocking at your door,
Mm.
we have our phone an app. You push the button in less than a minute, you have an attorney on the phone.
Wow.
We think
That's a
that's
big deal.
It
a very big
is.
deal,
Yeah.
Yes.
especially with some of the stuff we see with our own eyes.
That's exactly
We
right. Yeah.
do. We
We
do.
do.
You definitely don't want a world star moment if you don't have, if you don't
So
have to.
So
Yeah,
let's just back up just a little bit. Can you,
sure.
for people who are listening and
Mhm.
they've never heard of Legal Shield, can you kind of
Mhm.
give like a history of Legal Shield so we can kind of get a foundation of,
Sure.
so people know who you are, can say, oh, okay, yeah, I've heard of that, and maybe want to do a little bit of research about it. So can you just kind of
Sure.
give us a little brief overview of Legal Shield?
Okay. So we're a 50-year-old company, been around
Okay.
50 years. Started out in the transportation industry and went into the group arena. So we're a privately held company. So we don't do a lot of advertising unless you an independent like myself. So we can go out and advertise. We have guidelines that we have to remain, stable with, but we're able to go out. I do education and workshops, lunch and learns, and so the company has been around, and it was founded because our founder uh, was named in a lawsuit. He was in an automobile accident, not his fault. The other party had uh, finances and was able to retain an attorney to sue him. Well, he had to put up just about $4,000 to get an attorney. He wins the lawsuit,
Mhm.
but guess what? He didn't get back.
Right.
It's $4,000.
Wow.
Even though he won, he lost
Yeah.
because when you pay the attorneys, they don't refund you.
Yeah. That's
Right.
true.
They don't refund you. So that's how our company was founded. It was out of a need and not greed. And
Okay.
and when you look at it, most people do not have access just for everyday living.
Yeah. That's
If it's
true.
a big case or something you have to have a lawyer for,
Mm-hmm.
you'll scrape and scrounge and get money to have that attorney. But just
Yeah.
for everyday situations, you want to know if you're right or wrong about situation. What can I do if this happens? You pick up the phone and call. It's unlimited. You pick up the phone, you get that advice and consultation, and you make a better decision. I say you make a better legal decision,
Yeah.
but you make a better decision. You make a more informed decision than making a decision and thinking about the consequences.
That makes sense.
Just
So,
to, just to piggyback on what you just said about it's a lot of people that don't have an attorney, don't have access to attorneys. Every year, millions try to navigate the U.S. court system without an attorney.
that's right.
Mm.
Millions every
Millions.
year because they don't have the money to afford an
No,
attorney.
no, and most of them, most people don't know about us. That's so I'm like the regional manager here. So my job is to go out and inform people. All we can do is educate, just so like you guys. We can
Mm-hmm.
educate, but people have to make a decision
Right.
whether we're a good fit today or maybe next week. And that's how I look at it. Because you hear the saying that knowledge is power.
It
Okay,
is. Until you use it.
Knowledge
when you use
applied.
yeah, not
Yeah.
until it's applied.
Mm-hmm.
We can have all the knowledge in the world, but if we don't
Mm-hmm.
apply it,
That's true.
Right.
might as well not even
Yeah.
have it.
Yeah.
It's very important that we understand that. So I've talked to people in the past that have called me since something has happened or something
Mm-hmm.
could happen, and they say, "Hey, listen, you still do that? Here's what they call it, that legal thing."
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Yeah, I
Yeah.
still do legal. I still do legal shield. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
can I help you?" I mean, because sometimes you share a story, but what happens is people cannot unlearn what they were taught.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can't unlearn what you were taught.
Yeah. And I mean, it's cool because, people really do need to prepare and don't want to
Yeah,
wait until something happens and then be
right.
looking for someone. Because I'm pretty sure y'all don't go back and backdate. Like, if something happened, I'm pretty sure they can't call you after it happened. They probably need to have their
You have to
subscription
have a plan
before.
before.
Right,
Yeah,
right, right, right. Same way with
right.
these policies that we do. Don't
Absolutely.
wait till something
You
happens.
Right.
gotta have it before. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
here's the thing. In some instances, we do work with pre-existing situations.
Oh.
Okay.
So if you have a pre-existing situation, you can still get advice, consultation. They'll review contracts. They'll do documents. But if you have to go to court, now that's different. On the other side,
Okay.
because if you got to go to court now, it's pre-existing. So that's a discount. But if it was covered under that benefit, it would
Mhm.
have been covered when you went to court as well.
Okay.
So
Okay.
we do cover some pre-existing matters. Yeah,
Now, I do have a little question for you.
sure.
What I know you said depending on what area that people need the attorney in,
Mhm.
are there certain areas or is it any area where it's like, okay, we do everything but this? Just out of curiosity.
No, the
Oh,
answer to that is no. But there is areas that may you get a discounted rate for,
okay.
like a DUI or something
Mhm.
like that.
Hopefully I never
Something
have one
that
of
well, it's good. That's good.
those.
But a lot of people probably never had them, but probably deserved a couple. But anyway, no,
Right.
but you look at things that happens, and it's an
Mhm.
everyday thing that can happen, and that's just on the legal side. But things happen every day, and I say we make choices. You can either prepay or you can postpay.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
for a small monthly amount, you can prepay. But I tell people, if you get a will, living will, healthcare power of attorney, financial power of attorney, that's big bucks.
Yeah,
If you just take the benefit and do that, that's huge.
that is
That's
Yeah.
huge.
huge. And say you get a speeding ticket. You guys just mentioned speeding tickets. With our program, you get a speeding ticket.
Mhm.
You can take a picture of that ticket, submit it to your law firm, and the law firm has to contact you within 4 business hours to
Wow.
consult with you about that ticket. That's just step one.
Yeah.
Step two, Legal Shield is going to pay for an attorney to go to court with you if it's in your jurisdiction or
Mhm.
for you if it's out of jurisdiction.
Okay.
Be like a state like North Carolina or Virginia. I got a ticket in North Carolina. They require you to come back unless you have an attorney. An attorney can go to court on your behalf, and when I program, that attorney is already paid for. So I'm able to come and do my business or have an appointment set up and keep moving freely versus having to go back. So we work with a lot of commercial drivers, CDL drivers as well, because that's their livelihood. They drive for a living. Well, if they have to go back for a ticket, say they're in Chattanooga, they have to go for a ticket in Mississippi, but they have a load going to New York. and they got to go to Mississippi, well, they lose money. The company loses money because that driver is not moving forward with their freight. With our services, we have an attorney to go to court on that driver's behalf while the company continues to make money and the driver makes money. So that's
Nice.
what we do. Yeah,
That's awesome. That's
yeah.
awesome. So, do you have anything for small businesses? Because there's a lot of startup businesses out here who need legal counsel, or and just or to have an attorney on as a retainer.
Mhm.
And how can you help small businesses with
Well,
that?
one,
Also,
well,
corporations have most time they have in-house counsel.
yeah.
So, how can you help the small business?
What we're able to do for a small business, whether it's a one-person operation or several hundred business operation. Say if a business just starting and they want to become an LLC or corporation, we actually have a program to assist them with that. It's called Launch by Legal Shield. It's a program that we're going to help them with the employee identification number, EIN. We're going to help them get everything in place, plus give them 3 months of service for the legal services. That's what we'll do. Now, if they want to continue with the services after they become an LLC, they can. We don't force them, but we say, here, we have these resources that's affordable. You've gotten started. You got all your documents. You have everything in place, and they're able to move forward that way. Then we also have, say, if you're a realtor or if you just a consultant and you don't have employees, we have what we call a home-based legal plan with our family plan. Okay, and we have this supplement so we can protect your family and your business. As long as you don't have any, it's $14.95. If you don't have any W-2 employees, then it covers your entire family. And if your spouse or significant other has a business without any W-2s, it'll cover that business. It'll cover up to 10 businesses.
For 14.95.
So it will cover up to 10 independent entrepreneur type businesses. It's like really.
So I just want to make sure I understand you. So you said this one $14.95 will cover 10 small businesses.
Now that's with the that's a supplement, the
Oh, so
$29.95 family plan, and that
okay.
supplement. Yeah.
Oh, I
So if
see.
you
All
say
right.
if you're doing like your spouse is a handyman, doesn't have any employees, he's a handyman or something like that. You do say Mary Kay, Tupperware, Avon, I don't know, Prince's, and all these other stuff. Cover up to 10 of those.
Okay.
It's
Wow.
it's like yeah. If
So,
you're a realtor, this program is perfect for realtors as well.
okay.
So I work with brokers and share with them how we can bring these services in, these what I call benefits, no out of pocket expense to that broker. But here's some services you can offer your agents at a discounted rate. They can get a standard rate from me, but we have a program where we can set it up and they can get it at a discounted rate, what we call the group rate.
Okay.
So I work with different companies like that. Now that's on the legal side. Advice consultation, uh, you're getting a divorce. If it's uncontested, you get through ours and there's no money. Uncontested. I said uncontested. Name changes, adoptions, you know, we cover all areas of the law, just not all of them is covered at 100%. And so, for a business owner, we even have a plan where if they're named in litigation, there's 75 hours of prepaid hours of trial out time. It's already paid for. Now, that's not 29.95 for. It's a little more cost effective because it's a business, and we're covering that entity, that business itself.
So I do have a question for you, Mr. Mark.
Okay.
That's okay. So I know you mentioned how y'all can help businesses set up paperwork.
Hmm.
Is that right? For like
Sure.
LLCs and sole proprietorships?
Yes.
Do y'all do that too if someone wants to set up a non for profit?
Not non for profit.
Okay.
The only one we don't do yet.
Okay.
That's
I,
that's that right now I've asked that question several times. I've been with this company now 22 years. I mean, had
uh,
services for 22, but that's one that's it's a lot of moving parts with the nonprofits. So we have the but one of the products that we offer for nonprofits is cybersecurity. We do have a cybersecurity plan for businesses as well. And here's the thing about that is that, you used to hear about all these big companies being breached, ransomware put on them, and different things like that. Well, the bigger, larger companies have pretty much figured out ways to reduce their risk. Well, guess who they're after now? Who's the targets? The small and mid-sized companies and
Um,
individuals. I was talking to a young lady. She works for a staffing company, and she was working remotely. And so she thought it was her bank. So her bank supposedly contacted and they was asking for information. She filled out all the information. And when she finished, the person on the other line said, "Now I have control of all your information.
yeah.
We
Well,
want $1,500." She said, "I don't have $1,500." She was locked down.
wow.
So it's so much out there now. You don't think about it. Years ago, who ever thought about identity theft? Who was thinking like that?
I
Right.
know. I know. We talked about that too, Mark, about the that incident with that lady. I had the same thing that happened to me,
Uh
and
huh.
yeah, my bank called. Well, I thought it was my bank. I bank with Regions, so
Right.
when they called me, and I'm like, "What's my bank calling me?" And the guy on the other end, he said, "Well, you." I said, "Hello." He said, "Well, we got to get your information from you because your account is being hacked." And I was like, "What?" And so he was telling me how much money they were going to get out of my account. And so I was like, okay. So I proceeded to give him my username and my. Then I thought about it. I hung up and I called the number. Well, when I called the Regions number, it was Regions. They said, "Hello, this is Regions Bank." So I said, oh, okay, so it's legit. So then I called him back and I was like, well, let me go ahead and give you the rest of my information so you can, so you can, get this under control. Lo and behold, this was a hacker going to my
Yeah.
trying to get into my account. So
Wow.
when I realized what I had done, giving him all my information, I called the bank back, and he told me I think when you called was a spoof or something, a spoof call.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it's, and so, but anyway, they were able to change my. I got everything changed, but it's just it's terrible, and we do need to put something in place to protect our assets.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So and just to kind of transition to that, I know the portfolio of services that Legal Shield offers is the identity theft
Yeah.
plan and the credit monitoring. So will you talk a little bit about the identity theft plan that you offer?
Sure. Sure. We started back in 2003, and we only had the legal plan at first. I was only marketing for, and then the identity theft plan came out, and I was like, well, who wants that? You didn't think about it because it wasn't top of mind. But in 2003, when we launched that program, it's just like the sky fell open. There was
Yeah.
all kind of victims, identity theft, and the only state at that time that had to report if you were a business in California, okay, and someone became a victim of identity theft, you had to alert those people. There was no other states that doing it at that time. They didn't have to, but now it's a requirement because it just really just took off because people was in California. If you became a victim, you were notified, but it say in Georgia, you weren't notified.
Mm.
It was a couple of cases. It was a down here in Atlanta because I live in Georgia. There was a worker that worked for it's called the Georgia Technology, and what he was doing was a program, I guess, but he was downloading like people's information onto his personal computer to a tune of like 220,000 people's driver's license and 225,000. I said meant thousands people's, and at the time it was called Peach Care, the medical benefits.
Mhm.
They called him and they locked him up. But here's the thing: there was letters sent out. They had to send out like 10,000 letters a week to
Oh
notify
wow.
us. I'm saying us that there was a hacker. Now here's what we had to do: we had to monitor our information to make sure
Wow.
nothing happened.
Wow.
But see, now companies actually have to pay. They pay or they provide subscriptions for say monitoring and alerts, different programs, and they actually
Mhm.
have to pay for that person's information that could have been possibly breached.
Mm.
Just a quick note: I'm a part of the Chattanooga Chamber, and our chamber was breached, hit for ransomware, and so I'm able to provide my identity theft product through the chamber for the people's information that was breached. So I'm proud of my chamber for giving us the opportunity to do that as well. But we
Yes.
offer the most comprehensive identity theft product on the market.
Mhm.
So we do things like alerts. Say you go to Best Buy and you open up an account. As soon as that account hits the repository, we're gonna alert you and let you know. Pretty cool. Now,
Mhm.
someone has your information, they go to Best Buy and they open up an account. We're gonna alert you. Well, that's pretty cool too, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So
Mhm.
if it's not you, it could be somebody else. And if it's someone else, we have fraud investigators that will actually do the work of restoring you from theft status back to pre-theft status. That's what we pay them to do
And you
on the
know
daily.
what's so, that is so awesome because I was reading the news this morning where Equifax have been reporting wrong information to people's credit reports, and they were being turned down for home loans.
Right.
So this credit monitoring that you have would be absolutely awesome because if something is being reported wrong on your credit report, you can use this credit monitoring, or it will just alert you in general
That's
when
right.
something shows up on your credit report.
Right.
And so that makes you look at your report and okay, what is this? This is not mine. So
That's right.
that's awesome too for things like that, because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people disputing um, Equifax for what they've done,
Right.
because know, yeah. So
And Equifax had a serious situation probably about 2, 3 years ago when they lost like 145 million people's information.
wow.
I'm sure
So
y'all
this just
remember
happened
that.
a few days ago. Yeah, go
Huh?
ahead.
So
This
what?
just happened a few days ago. I think it was I read it yesterday. It may have happened
Yeah.
maybe a week or so ago, but I just read it yesterday where they
Right.
had been reporting wrong information to some I guess potential homeowners who were trying to buy a house,
Right.
and they were denied the home loans.
Right.
So
Yeah. See,
yeah,
that's happened recent, but about 3 years ago, they
okay.
exposed about 145 million people's information. And when you think
Oh
about a
wow.
repository, when you think
Mhm.
about a repository, what do they have of yours?
Mhm.
Everything. They have
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
And so, we provide those services because what you're saying is if you get a hit on your credit report, it alerts our services and we alert you to where you
Yeah.
can check into that because sometimes you may have a company, a financial company, a mortgage company that may want to try to get you a better rate and they just pull your credit. But sometimes you get a ding, reduce drop
Mhm.
that number. Sometimes you get a ding. Well, they're trying to do this, but you're still getting that ding, and you don't want people to do that. So you can stop companies from doing that as well.
I'm doing that.
Yeah, because
That's awesome.
you get the ding, it drops your score. Score is really, really important these days.
Yeah.
Yeah, rates, just getting the insurance. It's
Yeah.
really big. Yeah,
Well, Mr. Jones, I do have another question for you.
sure.
If I don't know, let's just say if someone felt like they needed to sue somebody for
Mhm.
whatever reason, like could they just call up one of the attorneys and say like I need you on a legal matter, or is it pretty much just for, like I said, traffic tickets or different items that arise that you maybe need to get out of?
No, man, we do both. We
Okay.
we are a shield. We are a shield. Well, we do become a sword. We do become a sword. And what that means is that if you want to file a lawsuit,
Mhm.
the attorneys will file. They will listen to what you have in place. And
Mhm.
if they decide, okay, you got a case, they'll take that case but they'll take it. It depends on if it's a contingency or if it's, if you got to pay the 25% discount, because
Okay.
that's an offensive move.
Hmm.
It'd be an offensive move. But yeah, and we tell anyone, here's what the numbers are that we're going to provide. But you can shop around for another attorney, and if you feel like that's a better deal over there, you can stay, or you can come back if you feel like we're a better deal. But
Makes
we
sense.
do take offense as well.
Yeah. That's
Yes.
that's pretty cool to know. I guess I was wondering about the lawsuit part, just
Hmm.
because, of course, I guess we mostly help our clients with the compound interest accounts, and
Okay.
once they have those in place, people can't sue for that money,
Right.
so they get to protect their money. But I was just curious, if someone had some kind of matter, like I said, where they felt like, okay, I need to sue this person. Like they've been doing me wrong for whatever reason.
Right.
But that's good to know that
Yeah.
that you can have those services
Sure.
without having to dish out the full amount.
Right.
You can go
Absolutely.
to someone and consult. So that's
Right.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other thing, doctor, is that once they talk to the attorney, sometimes a letter can resolve a lot of issues,
Hmm.
and you don't have to take the other step. If the attorney say, "Well, listen, I feel like we can write this letter and we put it together," you okay the letter, okay? They
Okay.
submit it. It's coming. It's on their letterhead. It's in their addressed envelopes. And a lot of times when we get those letters from a law firm, we tend to open those first to see
Yeah.
what's in it.
Yeah.
So a lot of times you're able to get things resolved
Mhm.
without taking that step. But if you need to take a step, we're there too.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Now, okay, I have one more question.
Sure. As many as you
Uh,
want, as long as we have time.
oh yeah, we still have plenty of time.
Okay.
Um, I have one more question. Going back to
Sure.
the business entities, how you
Mhm.
said not y'all don't do non for profit shit. But let's
Right.
just say let's just say they had someone who started businesses and they did start a business for them, a non for profit.
Mhm.
Could they still consult Legal Shield regarding that, just to make sure it's laid out right, or is it like, just no, we don't handle those. We don't consult. Don't ask us because it's not on our list. I was just curious.
Okay. Normally, we don't consult any nonprofit,
Okay.
but if the executive or a board member has the legal plan and they can ask those questions as it's pertaining to them, they can get them answered. You
That's good.
you know,
Yeah. I
and,
was
and
just curious.
sometimes you can call and you can ask what I call is hypothetical questions, right? Just in case this happen will happen. But if you say nonprofit, you're probably gonna be saying, oh. But if you just say for
Yeah.
business, it depends on how you look at it. I mean, really,
True.
because with the services, it's unlimited number of questions. And
Yeah.
I'm thinking about, if I said I'm thinking about buying a boat for my business, what's the pros and cons? They're gonna
Oh,
ask
okay.
those questions, and so
Mhm.
you can, because you want to know on the front end, so you can
Right.
make a more informed decision. That's what we want to do. A lot of times we make decisions, but we're not informed on them. So
Right.
Okay.
once you get informed, you can choose.
Yeah.
Exactly
You
right.
know,
I agree.
you
You
know.
brought up something that kind of triggered a question that was kind of interesting. How you said if someone wanted to buy a boat for their company,
Okay.
do y'all handle items? Let's just say for some reason the IRS got triggered. Shout out to the
Okay.
IRS. We love you, quote unquote.
Right.
But if something was triggered,
Hmm.
and you needed, let's just say they said, okay, we're auditing you, and now you owe us back money.
Hmm.
Could you use Legal Shield for something of that matter?
Yes, ma'am.
Mm.
Here's a quick story. Now this is for a personal plan, and he had the business supplement. Okay, he was contributing or donating to his father was a pastor. So he's contributing and donating to his pastor's ministry. Right? So the IRS came to him and said he owed $6,000. Okay.
Okay.
He had all his records, he had all his everything. So he calls Legal Shield. They get him a tax attorney. The tax attorney from 6,000 is like 6,300. From $6,300, he changed that number to $218.
Wow.
They kept appealing it 9 times, and the attorney wanted to appeal it again because he wanted them to pay him.
Hmm.
And I was in a meeting.
You muted
Oh,
yourself.
you're muted.
You're muted. Unmute.
That's bad. Sorry about that.
Okay.
I was in a meeting this morning, talking about service. Well, a gentleman came up and he said that someone had built a website. And in that website, they took someone else's artwork that they didn't
Mhm.
pay for and put it on his website.
Mm.
The company that owned the artwork found it. They wanted $12,000
Mm.
because he was using artwork that wasn't his. Even though he didn't put it up there, the person that built the website for him did, and ain't no telling where he's at. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So they come after the guy whose website it was. They wanted 12,000. Legal
Wow.
Shield was able to negotiate them down to 600.
Wow.
From
Wow.
12,000 to 600. I think
That's
that's a better deal
Heck yeah.
because if he would have had to get an attorney, what would it cost to get an attorney on retainer, and how long would it have took? It's just so
Yeah.
that's what they were able to do, but they were already paid for.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. Look, we appreciate all of this great information.
I know. It is
It
awesome.
definitely sounds like Legal Shield is, something that you absolutely need to have.
Yeah.
So just I know we have you on today, but just in case we have our listeners out here that's like, you know what, that makes a lot of sense. This sounds like something I need. Not, I mean, I need it yesterday.
Right.
If
Yeah.
they do need those services, please tell us how you can be reached because I mean, we definitely want somebody knowledgeable, someone that can help, help our listeners. So tell us about, where you can be reached,
Okay.
your contact info, if
Okay.
they need to find you on social media, just let us know where we can find you.
Okay, I'll do that. The
Mhm.
best way to find me is to call or text 423-227-5572. Again, the best way to contact me is to call or text 423-227-5572. My website is mark_jones dot wearelegalshield.com. Again, that is mark_Jones dot wearelegalshield.com. So that's the best way to reach me. I'm on LinkedIn. Uh, I'm on LinkedIn and Facebook, but I'm new to that arena. I'm one of these personal people to people type
Mhm.
business. Hey, but
Private
that's
people.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like sitting down and talking to people and getting a feel or culture for what they're really looking for. Displaying the
Right.
program.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you for the information. Let me just ask
Absolutely.
you one question. As you all know, I have a new grandbaby. And so
Mhm.
as I was looking on this,
Precious too.
thank
Yeah.
you. As I was looking on this sheet, I see where you have minor identity protections. Just
Yes.
briefly tell me about that because I got to protect
Absolutely.
my Ivy.
Absolutely. Well, children is the number one sector for identity theft.
Hmm.
Number one. The reason being is that they have no credit.
Oh yeah.
So, and a lot of times people take advantage. There's ways, medical records, you have, you put, now we're putting our children's information on everything. but we're not checking the credit files because they shouldn't have any. I'll
Right.
tell you, I was down in Dalton and I was talking to a banker, and she says, "Mark, my child's information has been breached." So I said, "Well, tell me the story." She said, "I have a daughter in college. She's 19. She's getting ready to go to college, and um, the she can't get a loan because she has a mortgage in her name.
Oh wow.
She
Yeah.
she has she has a mortgage in her name. So I
Wow.
talked to her. They enrolled in our program, the investigators, because they're not going to give you the answers. They're not going to answer your questions because if they're looking at the computer and you're standing in front of them, who do you think they believe? The
Right.
computer. They're looking at the computer, right?
Right.
And so children, I mean, we're finding children now. If you ever Google, child's identity theft, you'll be amazed. I mean, you've got a 2-year-old with a house and a houseboat car. You
That's
have
terrible.
you have companies that's already. I mean, you have children, getting ready to open up a bank account because they can't open up one because they're in bankruptcy.
Wow.
It's wild out there, and
Yeah.
so you're just trying to live it, and then sometimes it's the parents that do it. You heard these stories where the parents got the utilities and the
I've heard that
cable
before.
and all this in the children's
Mhm.
name. Then when they don't pay it, the children go up and it's still on their records.
Report.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Still on the
Wow.
records.
Okay.
Yeah, so I do a lot of workshops for daycare centers too.
Okay.
And what I do there is if I can work with the director or the owner of the daycare, I want to educate the parents
Mhm.
because that's who needs to be educated because little Johnny's may have his information already breached, but if they have our services protecting the children, it alerts them. And as soon as they're alerted, they can reach out to the fraud investigators and they can clean it up. So
Yeah.
I do things like that as well. We do things like that as well.
Well, thank you for
So
that.
awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because the babies are our future.
Yes, that's true.
They are. They
They are.
are. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 So yeah. Well, I know I have definitely enjoyed this episode today.
I have to.
I've learned a lot. I've learned, how intricate Legal Shield is and how needed Legal Shield is.
It's,
So,
that's true.
that's awesome that you were able to enlighten us and also,
Sure.
give us a way of contacting you where we can set this up. And the idea of everything that we do is to protect ourselves and protect the family. And so that's
Absolutely.
what we want to do. Now, I see we're coming down to the last little bit of our timing here. It always goes so fast.
Goes
It
So,
does
fast.
that.
yeah. So, of course, we have Mr. Jones' information. It's across the screen, and he also gave that. And so, Dr. Renee, I'm gonna let you give your contact info where the people can reach you because I know you've been overloaded this week with people who,
Yes.
like I said, who need our help. But we always have room for one more. So, Dr. Renee, I'm gonna let you tell the people where they can reach you.
Okay. You can reach me at, I always have to look up my number. It is 855 937 6742. 855-937-6742, or you can come by my office at 3661 Raymond Road, Suite 302.
Awesome, awesome. And so, of course, y'all know I'm Dr. Verneka. You can find me on social media on Facebook. Of course, like I said, if you don't see video on my Facebook, if you don't see videos of myself, either talking about, what we've
On
been talking
TikTok.
about, or TikTok videos, you know it's the wrong page My Facebook was hacked last year in August, my original one. So, like I said, if you see anything crazy or scammy, that's not my page. That's not me. But you can find me and reach me on my, at my office number. It is 1-833 837 6352. Again, that is 1-833-837-6352. If you're old school, like how I am, even though I look a little young, I can be a little old school. But you can always dial 1-833-Verneka, Verneka, and you will reach me. And so we're here to help. Like I said, Mr. Jones here, you can reach him. And then, of course, myself and Dr. Renee, we're here to help as well. Also, feel free to reach out to us. No client ever pays us a dime. So, we are, like I said, we're here to help. We're here to serve. And like I said, we are all about leveling out the playing field for everybody. So, look, it's been a great show. Time went by so fast, but we appreciate y'all for tuning in today for our 8th episode of Let's Chit Chat About Money.
Money.
Now, next week, we're going to have another special guest. And you know what? I think we're going to keep this treat hush hush, but y'all will definitely want to tune in because, we're going to have someone else who is, just as amazing as Mr. Jones here. I know that's going to be a hard shoes to follow, a hard path to follow behind. But, I'm sure our guest next week can do that too. So we appreciate y'all tuning in. Thank y'all for listening. And look, until next week, when we chit chat about some more money, we'll see y'all there.
So, thank you all for letting me join.
You're welcome.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Jones.
Thank you. Enjoyed it.
Yes.